Hello, it's me, Josh Hunter, and I'm here on the planet Earth. Um, had a rough night. It wasn't rough. The night itself wasn't rough. It seems to me as though I might be earlier in one of my earlier videos. Because I don't give people shit, but I say like, oh, these people said they would do like they would be like this, and then for example, the here because here in Santa Monica, they close the pier, but they don't close the farmers market. And so, to me, I don't necessarily call it hypocrisy, but very often I'll say, "Oh, look at this hypocritical activity." But over the time that I have spent analyzing my reality and the realities that I'm most familiar with, I am a hypocrite as well, a social hypocrite. Uh, my morals and ethics are consistent. I do not believe that people should be harmed needlessly. I believe that life is fair. I believe that life is fair, and I believe that life is merciful. But I do not know if life is kind. And so my social hypocrisy is a reflection of this belief. Now, you might ask, what do I mean when I say social hypocrisy? Well, for example, sometimes, I would go through periods where I would drink alcohol a lot, and then like I wouldn't drink. And while I wasn't drinking, I'd have these like criticisms of people who drank. I was like, oh, why are you drinking? I haven't done this in a very long time, but to me, it is still, you know, uh, emblematic of this social hypocrisy that I sometimes express. So I am saying this because, first of all, I don't want anyone to think that I don't know that I'm a hypocrite. I have all day to study myself and my flaws and all these things. So there isn't anything about me that is unknown to me, to myself. I'm just saying this because I think I'm not predicting, and I'm not saying that this is even necessarily the case, but I think it's possible that some of the. I'm not sure if I've said that I stand for anything in particular in this video, or in on my channel. Like I said, there are only three things which I have said that I distinctly believe in, and that is the preservation of infrastructure, which means preservation of roads, electricity, modern conveniences. The preservation of modern conveniences is what I mean when I say the preservation of infrastructure. Indoor plumbing, all of those things. And it's not that I can do anything specifically to do that. I'm not a politician, but I try and hold myself in a way which contributes to the preservation of these things. Because I like modern conveniences. I don't like, anyway. So the second thing that I have stated several times that I believe in is the preservation of needful structures. Now, needful obviously has to be defined, but needful would be in relation to the preservation. Needful would be in relation to the modern conveniences. So a needful structure doesn't just refer to buildings, it also refers to social structures, the way people do things in any specific area, religious structures, educational structures, political structures. These are, the forms that we use to achieve the things in these particular arenas. So the preservation of needful structures. And what's more, it's like, what would I do to do that? It's like I try to live in a way which preserves these things as I see fit, and trying to determine what. I don't determine what is or is not. The determinant of the needfulness of these structures is mainly in relation to their, proximity, you might say, to the modern conveniences. Okay. And then the third thing, which I have said that I believe in, or that I say, and I guess this is more attuned to me, that is to contrive to never have to do anything. This may seem like laziness, but sometimes to contrive to contrive to never have to do anything means that I will. I will do my utmost to make sure that to have my restful periods. I think to have uninterrupted restful periods is extremely important to me and a person like me and people like me. So I say all these three things because, alright, so social hypocrisy is, when I'm referring to that, it's basically like things that I say that I'm, alright, for example, I've been advocating slightly on this, and anyway, I'm just saying, like, I've had, I don't know if I've had very strong opinions on my channel, but I've had opinions which I feel might be reversed. Like I said, I've lived a very sheltered life, despite having been, homeless for almost a decade. About 2 years short of a decade, my experiences have been very consistent. I mean, it's not like I'm not out here fucking getting addicted to drugs and like fucking my brains out or anything. Like, it's just, it's standard fare. People still, when they speak to me, they just look straight through me. They don't, and I'm not like, it doesn't mean anything to me. Like, I don't care if, I'm not concerned about whether or not, I'm a well-liked person, because everything that I do the things that I need to do to make sure that I can wake up in the morning and like who I see. Okay, everything that I do is to make sure that when I look in the mirror in the morning, I haven't looked in the mirror in a very long time. They don't have mirrors in these public bathrooms, but assuming that I'm living in a house, when I wake up in the morning and get ready for my day, I need to make sure that the person that I see in that mirror is someone that I like. And despite, years and years of fucking untold fucking bullshit, I still like who I am. I don't have any regrets because the choices that I make are well thought out. I do not make impulsive decisions, and even if I seem to, I have made all of my decisions much earlier in advance. Okay, I think a lot, and it is hard for people to really understand that, because you don't have any type of like concept or context. Concept? You might have concept. I mean, a person who overanalyzes things might understand, but I do not like surprises, and so I used my brain to try and figure out how to avoid absurd surprises. It's like I try to use my brain, my senses, all the things that I've been gifted as a human being to make my life as comfortable and as easy as possible. I like easy. I love easy. I know John F. Kennedy, or JFK, he said, we are not going to the moon because we know, I'm paraphrasing, but we are not going to the moon because we know that it's easy, but because it's hard. Yeah, and that's the kind of attitude I want nothing to do with. That does not build a better person. That's not intelligence. That is not an intelligent decision. That is bravado or macho. It's like, we do it because it's hard. Okay. All right, then why don't we walk? Why don't we walk from city to city when we want to go somewhere? When we want to transport, 1 million tons of grain, of rice or something, why don't we carry it by hand? Well, it's hard, right? I mean, that's the logic behind it. It's poor logic. It sounds good. It's got a really nice sound. But, if people take that to heart, that's why I understand he's a politician. He's got other factors at play. I'm not criticizing that particular way, because God knows I probably said the same thing or similar things. So basically this video is me, I'm forgiving myself right now for any particular social hypocrisies which might come up. And I'm not saying that but I've given it enough thought. So anyway, I love easy. I love when things are easy. It doesn't, if I want a challenge, I'll play a fucking video game. Okay? I've had enough time to build my character and determine, you know, the point of things being difficult is one of the reason, the point of things being difficult from time to time is to give value to experiences. In my world it is, and maybe in other places too, but you know, when the thing is difficult, it adds value. You know, people, when things are always easy, when you don't even have the perception of things being difficult, then it is hard to appraise the value of something. You know, the value of an experience, the value, you know, a person who, I'm not in a position to really talk about, you know, the value of things. I just know what things are in value to me. For example, like if I were to get into a, for example, like right now, like, so I know I've said in previous videos, like, oh, you guys can like sign up to be like my girlfriend, and you know, that type of thing. But if someone were to come up to me right now and say, Josh, I want to be your fucking girlfriend, I wouldn't even, because I'm in such a selfish state right now. I'm really right now only caring about myself. I mean, you know, I do things, even if I say, oh, you know, preservation of infrastructure, that's about my own personal things. Like my youth is gone. I am going to be 34 years old this year, and I do not, my youth, my 20s were a bust, and the last 15 years I've spent attempting to stabilize my housing issues. And during high school, I guess I was too slow for various activities, and so I'm just, my youth has been almost obliterated. So to me, the idea of being in a relationship, the idea of being in a romantic relationship with a woman is something that it is a youthful thing. It is this idea of freedom, being able to enjoy your life and feel safe with another human being. And at this point, that is almost impossible, because my trust issues are severe. My trust issues are my trust issues are very severe, and because every person I speak to, like the closer that I get, I assume that they are a snake and that they will bite me. Every person that I meet, it is my assumption that they are going to try and hurt me or bite me or attack me in some way. And I look for even the slightest bit of evidence, and the moment I find even the slightest, I don't do it needlessly, and it's not like, you know, the moment I find anything that is just reminiscent of all of these snakes that have bitten me, I cut them off. I say, no, 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 not for you, you must go somewhere else. So, to me, the youthful attitude is a carefree attitude, the feeling of safety, the feeling that someone is protecting you and will keep you safe. But I've lived so long in this way where I do not perceive myself as having been safe. I mean, I know my health, my physical health is kept consistent by some force or gathering of forces that I am not particularly aware of. I guess you could call it God, but I don't necessarily know. I don't know. I'd like to see some receipts. I'd like to see some ID. Like if they, you know, if God is in charge here. I mean, if I don't think I need to know if God exists. I don't think things have not gotten to the point where I need to know that God exists. I just need to be grateful for what I do have. But you know, because you could be thinking like the wrong person. You could be thinking the wrong beings. You spend like years and years and years thinking, oh, you know, oh, I think that this person's God, or I think that this being is God, and then it turns out, oh, it wasn't. No, you didn't know. And then you might say, oh, well, because you did that one thing, and then, no. I've given this a lot of thought. So, oh, was this booger on my nose the whole time? Look at that. Is that gross? All right. Anyway, so I just want to say that I might be like, this might be like a point where it's like, oh, remember when you were like this and now you're like this, and I just see it, you know. Anyway, So thank you very much, and thank you for watching.